Okay, I'd like to call to order the Education, Technology, and Policy Committee for Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. Let it be known that myself as chair, Mr. Ford as vice chair is present. For this meeting, it's going to be you and I. Also present are Mr. Lagarde, Mr. Borzan, President Trahan, Mr. Dehart, Mr. Hamner, and the superintendent and his staff. First matter is pertaining to the Hope Squad. This is informational only about suicide prevention, and it's sponsored by the Sunshine Rotary Club. Oh, wonderful. Of Homa. And Mr. Talbert, Director of Child Welfare and Attendance, is going to lead us in this discussion.
Hey, thank you, Ms. Benoit. So just a backstory real quick, that just as an administrator, one of the more challenging things to deal with is when you have a death in your community, let alone when it's a young person with a suicide. As an administrator, I had to deal with it when I was at Evergreen, and I also dealt with it as a supervisor. So it's definitely a challenge. So when Ms. Brand and Ms. Medlin came to me last year to discuss the possibility of adding a program called Hope Squad, we started really looking into it, building on their enthusiasm to get something out there, because in their experiences through the schools, noticing the need. And so with all their work, and I'll be happy to let them speak as well, but we started looking into it last year. We realized it was a huge task to try to get the program started, and especially trying to get it started at 2 high schools simultaneously. So we continued, they still had the fire to keep looking at it, keep digging, and thankfully we reached out to the Sunrise Rotary Club. I'm not sure I say it right. The Sunrise Rotary Club, just knowing too, my dad was involved with Rotary quite a bit, so knowing that they're a service-oriented group. And so I was thankful to link up with Jason, Mr. Bergeron, and met with them, and thankfully they're going to help us out with some of the funding costs. It's not the total cost, but it is a significant piece. The piece that we're looking to use their contribution for is to help us with the lesson planning. And what is the Hope Squad program? I'll definitely probably turn it over to these ladies because I might butcher it. But basically, in the gist of it is, it's a peer organization. The kids, it's not just a matter, hey, y'all join, become a Hope Squad person. Kids are nominated by other kids on the campus. It is designed to have kids to be able to go to other kids or to notice things in their friends, notice things on their campus, that to say, hey, little Johnny might need some help, so I'm gonna go to a responsible adult with it. Kids are not, they're not counselors, they're not trained to be counselors, but they are trained to recognize when possibly somebody might need some help. And it's designed to get the attention to the adult. As we all probably can attest to, because I know many of us in here tonight are either current or former educators, a lot of times kids know a lot more before we do. And whether we're talking bullying, whether we're talking potential suicide, and God forbid a school shooting, things like that, a lot of times the kids know more before we do. And usually we're finding out after the fact. So this is, after I read into it, after I researched it, after consulting with them, then we identified HL as one of the, to test it out, to see how it goes, and we go from there. Ladies, y'all have anything? Tammy? Ms. Moses? Jason? What's that? Yeah. Come on up. Mr. Badger.
Thank you all. So just to let everybody know, there are 4 Rotary clubs in Homa. With the Sunrise Rotary Club, we meet on Tuesday mornings at Downtown Joe. You might know us from the Bud and Burgers competition we had. We've given away, I don't know, probably about 7,000 bicycles since mid-2000s to fill a need for Mr. Atkins whenever he was doing that. We also work international projects, helping build computer schools in Africa. And so for us, it's important to give back to the community, both locally and work on international projects. And that's what our Rotary clubs do. And so, like I said, we're one of 4. This is actually near and dear to me because those that may not know, I was actually bullied as a kid in school. And I can understand what kids go through. So whenever Mark approached us, I felt it was really important for us to get behind this and get this process kicked off and for us to be a part of this program. And so I think the opportunity and if anything that us or any other Rotary clubs can do in the future to help, we're definitely here. So thank y'all.
Thank you. And Jason brought up a good point too. it may say suicide, but obviously we know that bullying plays a lot into how kids feel about that type of stuff. And one of the things about it is that it kind of, is a caveat to it, it recognizes bullying things as well to get it to the attention of us as well. Because there too, a lot of times the bullying issues prosper into a fight or blow up into a fight, and a lot of times it's because of bullying that we didn't know about until after the fact. So this too, so it not only helps with the suicide prevention, but it definitely can help. I just see it helping in so many other directions. So once again, I do thank Rotary for doing that and to making that contribution to us. And then the goal, just to give you a time frame, we hope to use the spring or going into the spring to really get it established, to get the training lined up, to get the kids identified, that kind of thing, and then moving into next year to be ready to go. And so that's where we are with that, because it'll take time.
Mr. Torben, I just want to add, at LSBA, I think a year ago, the principal from Lutcher High School presented on Hope Squad, and it was very, very well received by most board members and superintendents. So we're getting on board with that at Bourgeois. So thank you.
Mark, do we have a lead at Bourgeois on this program?
Ms. Moses, I'll let Ms. Moses speak.
We've identified 2 teachers who are willing to step up and assist. Once those teachers are trained, then we'll go from there to nominate students to participate.
Okay.
Yeah, the size of the program depends obviously on the size of the school, or, so 2 could be bigger than that as well.
Okay. Yes, Mr.
With
Boyd.
that in mind, Ms. Moses, maybe those 2 teachers can work with the other teachers in the district during the summer to establish these programs at our other high schools? It's a good idea you just came up with. I'm very pleased to see Hope Squad, like he said, like Mr. Ojoin said, I think it was 2 years ago, LSBA, they did present on that, and while I was there, I pulled up the website and I started reading, and I saw they're in 50 states in Canada, and they're even working their way down to the South America area, so good job, keep it up.
Mr. Lagarde?
Yeah, as an LPC myself, I never heard of Hope Squad, to be honest, I'm sorry. Can you give me something? Tell me something about it? I never heard of it. And I think we should have our counselors involved at the school. Our school counselors around the parish should be training and training.
Basically, like Mr. Torben said, it's a peer support group that is fluid throughout the school. If things are going on, kids always know first. So therefore, they have the pulse. And if they're trained, it's no pressure, it's no liability on them. They may hear, oh, look, Johnny's not feeling himself today. He cleaned out his locker or something like that. So they would know, and the steps would be, because they do not bear the burden of anything happening, God forbid. But basically, they would have the steps and the knowledge to go to the appropriate personnel who are trained, and then they would go through with facilitating with the mental health agency locally or something like that. Because one of the pieces is to work with the mental health agency, and I've spoken to the principal that you've talked to, Dr. Molly. Basically, they've partnered with different agencies so that everybody can be on board and help community-wide. I've also spoke with someone today. There's another program I'm gonna also look into, kind of like an add-on to this. It's kind of hand in hand, but it's on a wider spread scale. It's QRP. I'm gonna look it up for those of you Googling. But basically, it's about the same kind of thing, but you can do it on a wider spread and it's not as intense, just so more people have knowledge, because it is a widespread problem. I mean, with home situations, we've been talking about the storm, people's recovery, COVID, people not as socialized as they have been. Everybody has different issues. Everybody has a different walk we don't know about. And this just opens the door for support.
So do y'all train how many, 5 kids, 10 kids?
It basically goes on based on the population of the school. If HL is 1,600, there's some kind of formula they come up with. The way it works is there would be someone at the school who is a contact. If, for instance, Ms. Brand and myself were involved with it, we would be would be titled like a district contact. So we could kind of like oversee and help them if they needed someone else to bounce ideas off of. But the school itself would house the contact, and they would basically filter down how it runs. And it basically is a prescribed program that involves peer students, I don't want to say peer tutors, peer support, and it just goes throughout. And then That also includes, like I said, a community component, like a mental health agency or something like that, because if you do find someone who is in need, you can't just say, hey, look, call your mom and go to the hospital. You need to see it all the way through.
I guess y'all definitely need the school counseling.
Absolutely, absolutely. A counselor, a concerned teacher, a principal, however the school feels, because I'm sure it's pretty time consuming, you know, and so therefore, that also would be taken into effect. For instance, Dr. Molly shared with me this afternoon, we were talking and I asked her about the time constraint. She said it was different because they have like Monday meetings for the groups, just to make sure how everybody else is feeling as a team member, just check-ins, kind of things like that. They also do like, we used to do the broadcast on the TV screens in the classroom about bullying, things like that you can broadcast throughout your school, just to kind of improve the climate, improve some of the issues, and talk about social issues, to get people talking, because silence is not always good. And then you kind of left to speculation. Another component would be, she talked about the mental health agency, and they did some creative things, which also freed up the guidance counselors to do their current jobs, but it was a support to them, and they were just a team member, and then they felt with the counseling portion.
Might add too, Mr. Gardner, it won't take the place
No.
of the threat assessments that counselors do now. If anything, hopefully, it gets the kid in there quicker maybe to where they hopefully they're getting the help they need. But it can be, the faculty sponsor can be anybody, generally, ladies, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but generally it's gonna be somebody like the kids relate to. So if the council definitely wants to be a part of that, they definitely have.
And it's all extensive training, it's not to replace, it's to enhance the skills that people already have. Because we have great skilled counselors.
So I'm sorry, we didn't get introduced to you
I'm
two.
sorry.
Are y'all both with Sunshine Rotary as well?
No, I am with Terrebonne Parish Schools.
Oh,
I am
okay.
Tammy, I'm a social worker, and I'm currently with Second Chance.
Okay.
And I'm Lori, I'm a social worker, I'm working with the Second Chance program.
Okay.
That's my Doris.
I see. But y'all are also going to be involved with this at H.L. Bourgeois?
Absolutely. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We had started talking about it. I was based at H.L. Bourgeois, and we had started talking about it, and it just is a process that
Yeah.
they don't release information real quickly, to be honest with you. So it's taken a while.
Okay.
And so here we are.
Okay, that's great.
And we're very grateful to Ms. Moses.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Basharon. I wanted, well, of course, I mean, I see him with a big check over there, so.
It's blank. Oh, man. I thought it was blank.
We're using it for the check.
Debbie, before they finish, I'd like to.
Okay.
No, you're the principal, right?
Yes.
You have to be the victor.
You can't hide from that picture.
Try, stop politicking, get out the picture. I want to get in the picture, politics.
We have another question here before we break this up. We have another question from one of our board members, Mr. DeHart.
I got a comment. Over the years, I've seen all the high schools and teachers, faculty, I'm talking about even at elementary schools. Whenever you notice a different, teachers I'm talking about, they know the students so well, almost like the mother and father knows. Whenever they see an attitude or a mood change, something's going on in their life. Could be a death in the family, could be multiple things, okay? Right now, things are so expensive, poverty hits harder and harder. So what I'm saying is that every faculty, hopefully y'all can spread that on to the faculties, because guess what? They're gonna see the difference in a child a lot, just as quick as you said, other students find out first. But the faculty is very strong and very important that at y'all principals meeting, y'all need to maybe just bring that factor up. If you notice something, please let us know, or counselor. And that way, sometime you can prevent something from happening, even though some students might not come forward. So I just was suggesting, it's worked in years past. And H.L. Bourgeois, we had a Bible class at one time, and I heard some discussion that just blew my mind about, not about religion, it's about things that was happening. So I'm just saying, that's a Miss Jones was over there. And all I'm saying to you is that it really worked to help kids that were struggling, or, young adults that are struggling. But it also happens in elementary and middle schools too. So, thank you all.
Thank you
allowing me to say that.
all,
Thank you.
and Mr. Bergeron, please give our thanks to the Rotary Club. Mr. Bergeron? Please give our thanks to the Rotary Club for supporting this. We appreciate that.
We're both in it.
Okay,
We're both in the Sunrise.
and we didn't get your name either.
My name's Bonnie.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you.
The year they was champion. They won their team, yeah.
Okay, next, number 3 on the agenda is a matter pertaining to the departmental messages in a minute. And I'd like to pull from the agenda item, Ms. DeGrease's presentation. She was unable to make it to the meeting tonight. I'm sure we'll get her presentation at our next committee meeting. So we'll start off with Dr. Yarbrough.
So you each get a minute and 20 seconds now instead of.
Your topic is state mentor teacher training.
Good afternoon. Terrebonne Parish has been allowed to provide state mentor training for our teachers. We have a teacher at Mulberry, Sherry Constant, who has been providing that training for Nichols for years now. So she's going to provide that same training for our teachers so they don't have to go somewhere else to get trained, and we feel that we will get more teachers trained with having the program local.
Ms.
Very
Consul, she's the ICL at Mulberry
Yes,
now, right?
at Mulberry, yes.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Thank you, Dr. Yarbrough.
She yields her time.
Next is the Homer Rotary Club's annual bike giveaway for Christmas. Mr. Butler, what Rotary Club is that? Just the
Homer.
Homer? It's a different one.
Yeah, well, it's not-
Oh, so it's not Homer?
well, look, actually, I was contacted by Mr. Bergeron about 2 weeks ago. And so we have been selected, once again, to participate in the annual bike giveaway. So in reaching out, I was able to contact, selected 5 schools. If we're fortunate enough to be selected again next year to participate, we'll select 5 different schools. This year, however, we looked at Village East, Honduras Elementary, South Down, Grand Calle Elementary, and Legion Park, whereas we will select 50 kids to participate in this annual bag giveaway. 5 girls, 5 boys from each school. And so those names have started coming in already from different schools. And once I collect all of the names, I'll submit them to Mr. Bergeron. And we'll get more specific in terms of time, dates, when we'll actually give the bikes away.
What's going to be the criteria? That's pretty difficult if everybody's
Well,
has similar situations.
Well, what I did was I actually reached out to the principals via email to ask them to select the children.
Okay.
So they are more familiar with their needs. In addition to the bikes, we did conversate, Mr. Bergeron and I, that is, as to other needs that may suit the kids, especially given the fact that we're moving toward the winter. So I asked for jacket sizes, pant sizes, shirt sizes, and so in the event that there's additional opportunities to get other items aside from the bikes, then obviously, we would like some of those items.
Great, that's awesome. Yes,
Go ahead.
Mr. Ford.
I used to rebuild bikes every year and give them away around Christmas time, but I haven't been able to do it since COVID. So make that 52 bikes. I gotta take 2, so get 2 more here, and just tell me what I owe you.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, all right, appreciate that. That's, I'll make sure that I spread the word.
Okay, any
Yes,
other
sir.
Yes, Mr. LaGore.
We give bikes, I've been giving bikes for 20 years. We give bikes away, we can't do it, they just come. But you say something that You said you need something more. Do you need coats?
Um,
Do you need?
Well, in our conversation, I know initially it started with bikes, but just in thinking about this time of the year, I know I'm an avid outdoorsman, and so it's cold, it gets cold outside. And so I know that, we've been through Hurricane Ida, we've been through COVID, and so just in thinking a little bit more broadly outside of the bikes, I would say yes, but specifically, in terms of a child, I wouldn't know that just right off. But I think that that's a good starting place when we start thinking about, clothing items, given the fact that there is winter coming about.
I would think the teachers would be able to tell you who
Yes.
needs them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would just like to offer.
First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm
Bonnie
Corey
Dupree.
Butler.
Hi.
All right.
The local Kiwanis Club in Homa also has a project that they do every year, that they have a coat giveaway. And I know they contact the public schools, and I think the teachers know what students need, and teachers actually go. This is a massive project. They have so many coats that are donated to them, it's unbelievable. And I know the teachers do go. So this is a project you could coordinate with them also, is that the Kiwanis Club does do that. They have a coat drive.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks again to the Sunshine Club.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Butler.
Thank you.
Okay, and next, Student of the Year process, Ms. Voklan.
Hey, Kim.
Hi. Good afternoon. We are starting our annual Student of the Year process. Every year, a 5th, 8th, and 12th grader is chosen from each school that has those grades. Then we have a committee. They present a portfolio, each school winner, and the district chooses a 5th and 8th grade, 12th grader to participate in this zone now because of BESI member changes. Now we go to a zone, and then if you are a finalist in the zone, you go to the regional. And all 3 of our district winners did end up to the regional last year. Unfortunately, none of them placed in the state, which, but we do compete well every year, and we're starting that process. Students of the Year names are due October 27th. Their portfolios are due to us November 9th, and the judging will begin November 15th. So we look forward to hopefully having some students place. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Voklan. Move for adjournment? Okay, moved by Mr. Ford, second by myself. Any public comment? Mr. Ford and myself? I know. Okay. We're adjourned.